Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Hey, did you guys see Phil's back?
Hi guys.
This is Phil. Phil's back. Welcome back, Phil.
Thanks. I missed you guys.
Yeah. Been what? 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
Well, I was gone for 2, so I guess this would be the 3rd week.
Yeah. So
3.
So on 3.
Gone 3. Right. Is it 1, 2,
1,
3?
2,
Then
3,
go. Right.
Or is it 1, 2 on 3?
Right. Right.
We never know.
1, 2 on 3 is where we ended up.
In fact, the people, I don't think they ever got that right either.
I don't think they did.
Hey, I have announcements. You want to hear announcements? I only have a couple. Basically, what's happening is I set up a high school and above float trip. And because of some logistics and some interest and the days and whatever, basically what I'm trying to tell you is that float trip is going to change to a Saturday in July swimming / barbecue party for junior high, high school, college kids and up. Anybody can come. Well, anybody can come junior high and up. How about that? I don't have a date on it yet. I got to work out some things. But we'll just, hopefully it'll be at a lake and we'll be able to swim and fish and take some boats out and some paddle boats and kayaks and things like that. Whatever. As soon as I get more information on that, I will get it to you. So, what else is happening in the youth? Revolution is coming. September 5th, 6th, and 7th. And you're like, September? That's so far away. Why are you talking about September? Because this is one of my favorite events of the year. And Phil and I are going to be working on it very soon about putting together this junior high, high school, and college age leadership training weekend that promotes unity within our group. And I'm excited about it. We're going back to Logan Valley. We'll be back on the other side this year. On the normal side. Last year, if you went last year, we were on a weird side. It was weird. Everything was weird. It was different. The boys had to walk forever to get to anything. Anyway, we're going to be back on the normal side. September 5th through the 7th. I don't have any other details yet other than that. So, be planning on that. Rummage sale August 1st. Students, whoever helps that day will get money put right into their personal student accounts to be used for things like Revolution, Youth Alive, things like that. So, I have just a couple questions for you tonight. And they're going to kind of lead into our series. We're doing a 2-week series on joy. What does joy look like? Like, not the person, Joy.
Is she on?
Is Joy here?
Is Joy on?
I don't think Joy's on. Stephen Lee is here. Hey, Stephen. You got my number. Call me and let's go do lunch. You want to do lunch?
Absolutely.
Let's go do lunch, Stephen. Call me. What was I saying? I saw something shiny. Oh, joy. Joy, not the person, the feeling, the spirit, the joy. We're going to talk about joy for 2 weeks. Yeah? Sound good?
Yep.
Leading into that series, I have a couple of questions to ask you guys. Number 1. What makes you unhappy or sad? What things make you unhappy or sad? It could be something small, it could be something big, it could be something minor, it could be something, huge. I don't know. I'm getting better now, but at one point, believe it or not, I know you guys are going to be like, no, not Josh, I can't see that. But at one point, people who drive stupid would make me unhappy. People who would tailgate me, people who would cut me off. You know your lane is ending when you're leaving St. Clair. You know your lane is ending. Don't hit my bumper trying to come in. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
driving out, going to Union?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cut
Well,
me
you
off.
have to use the right lane to get around the slow people, though.
Yeah, but if you're going to get around the slow people, you got to commit. If you're not willing to
Right.
commit, get over.
You just got to make sure it is the slow people you're going around.
Yeah.
Not the one that's
yeah.
going to race you.
That's
to
the
end of
only
that
place
lane.
the passing lane is on the right.
Okay, Phil, what makes you unhappy? By the way, Maddie's here tonight. She's going to help monitor the comments, and Randy is running some stuff for us, and because Nathan moved or something. Anyway, hey, what makes you unhappy?
Unhappy.
Unhappy. What makes you unhappy?
Man,
Or sad. Could be
Such a list.
sad.
so sad. Yeah, I'll tell you what makes me sad is when you take a cartoon and you take their guns away from them. That makes me sad.
That makes me sad too.
That makes me very sad.
For those of you who haven't heard, in the Looney Tunes reboot, who was it?
Elmer J. Fudd
Elmer Fudd
and Yosemite Sam.
and Yosemite Sam are losing their guns.
Right.
What?
How ridiculous.
What?
Just know that that's a sign. I'm just saying.
That makes me sad.
When they take the Second Amendment away from the cartoons.
Right.
You know what makes me sad? Country music makes me sad.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Also,
Can I
Daddy,
get-
stop it.
Can I get a witness?
Don't get on his bandwagon.
All right, Phil. What else makes you sad? And then we'll get to Maddie in the comments.
Well, you know what? You brought up country music. The current country music, like the new stuff, that kind of makes me sad.
So you don't like Stapleton?
But what makes me really
I
I
like
do
Chris
I do
Stapleton.
like, but he's old school.
Okay.
He's old school,
All right.
right?
All right.
What really makes me sad though is rap. It makes me
Whoa.
very sad.
You better calm down
Very
right now. You better calm. We are disagreeing.
I mean, you.
on camera.
But in all fairness, you did say music, so I can't use that. Anyway,
All right, Maddie, what do you got? Anybody on there got some good ones? What makes you unhappy?
we got Matt who said, "What the heck about not taking the guns away?
Oh yeah, yeah. No guns.
No guns.
But he did follow that up with, but they will still have
Yeah.
axes. So they do still have
Still a
weapons.
weapon." Yeah.
don't say that too loud. They'll take them away too.
Yeah.
He said that didn't make me sad per se, but I'm with you about road rage,
Yeah. Road rage. Road rage.
and that's all.
Okay. Let's go on to another one. Yeah.
Sure.
Question number 2. If we're talking about in question number 1 what makes you unhappy, question number 2 becomes what cheers you up? What makes you happy? What cheers you up? Basically, that's 2 different questions though. What makes you happy and what cheers you up are 2 different questions,
Sure.
right? Right?
Yeah.
So like what cheers me up if the car driving on 47, follow me here. If you're going on 47, you're going to Union, and the car comes over and almost like wrecks me, what makes me happy is when they get stuck behind somebody doing 35. Oh, and they can't pass because it's 47 between St. Clair and Union at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know they can't pass. That makes me happy because I'm not in a hurry. I'll drive 35. That's fine.
Hey, you're on 47. You're never in a hurry if you're on 47.
Yeah, you're not in a hurry if you're on 47. And
And if
now,
you were, you're
and
not
now,
now.
and now the giant hurry that they were in, that they almost clipped my truck coming over to get in front of one more car. 35 makes me happy. I shouldn't, but it makes me happy. Phil, what makes you happy?
I don't know. You just totally derailed it. I don't know. Come back to me.
Okay, Maddie, what makes you happy? Oh wait, that's not the question. The question is what cheers you up. What cheers you up? When you're sad, what cheers you up?
Dylan coming home from work. That cheers me up.
Okay.
Aw.
DY coming home from work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That puts me in a good
Yeah.
mood.
Okay. When you're sad, what cheers you up? Randy, when you're sad, what cheers you up? NF?
Ice cream.
NF?
Ice cream cheers
Ice cream?
me up.
Ice cream, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dana's. Shout out to Dana's.
Dana's.
That
Yeah,
cheers me up
definitely.
for
I
sure.
have found myself at Dana's a lot. Like, probably way more than I should. Like, twice in one day. Is that okay, Facebook?
That's
can
okay.
you go to
Yeah.
Dana's twice in
You
one day?
can. You can do that.
What about if it's within a 2-hour time frame?
It's a
Is
lot,
that
but
okay?
you're still good.
If you go twice in one day, you have to get something different the second time. If you get the same thing, then it's not okay.
So if I get the same thing twice within 2 hours, I have a problem?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I might have a problem. Okay. Phil says ice cream. What'd you say over there? I almost dropped my phone. Facebook.
So right now, the fact that I have a week left and I'm done with my bachelor's degree.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, I thought you
That
meant
is
you had a
what-
week left. Like
Yes.
left hook.
Oh yeah,
really weak.
he's a week left
Well,
and a
my-
week
week
right.
left and a week right,
My
right.
left hook is really weak.
He has a week left in his bachelor's degree. That cheers him up. That's exciting. That's exciting. Matt, you got anything in the comments there?
Matt said, "What makes me happy is pulling the car over after they open clip your truck."
Yeah. You know, when you're driving an unmarked cop car and somebody like cuts you off like that, that would be the greatest thing in the world to be able to say, "Bloop. Can I talk to you for a second, sir? You know you cut me off? Yeah, you do know that? Okay, move along now." That'd be great. What else? What else?
Matt said, "Phil, I don't say no to some ice cream for a quick cheer up."
I'm down.
Right on.
I'm down for ice cream. Yeah.
Let's go, Matt.
That's all.
I'll meet you up there as soon as we're done.
Matt also says music, not country. A good comedian.
Now wait a minute. Matt is a
Yeah.
closet country listener.
Yeah, but he's staying in the closet on that one. He's never gonna admit that. Like, he did say a good comedian, which yeah, man, a good comedian is actually good for the soul. Brian Regan and like a Tim Hawkins and John Christ and like Bob Smiley, that they make me laugh. It's good for the soul. What else you got, Manny?
Dylan said, "Sorry, I've been wrestling my tiny child. Hot weather makes me unhappy. Air conditioning cheers me up."
I can get behind that too, man. The older I get, the less I want to be overly hot. Like, you guys down with that? Like, you understand what I'm...
Like softball in 98-degree weather hot.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like the older I get, the more I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, this is dumb. Or riding my bike in the afternoon when I could have ridden it in the morning, that's dumb. That's dumb, because now it's 95, but this morning it was like 65. Yeah, I'm with you. The older I get, the more that stuff, man, I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. All right, question number last.
Matt says the guy in the long sleeve hoodie. By the way.
It was chilly in the house for a minute, and then now I'm hot. Yeah. The question is, it's different than what cheers you up. What cheers you up was question number 2. This is what makes you happy. Question number 3. What makes you happy? Like in life, in general, what makes you happy? Not just what cheers you up when you're down, or what cheers you up when you're having a rough day, or fill in the blank, whatever. What truly makes you happy? That's the question. Because that's what we're going to dive into content here in just a little bit about joy, what that looks like, what that means, and then we're going to give you some good practical tips next week on how to actually achieve it. Okay? We'll talk more about that in a minute. What makes you happy? Phil, what makes you happy?
There's a lot of things that make me happy. I think being around friends, being around family
Okay?
makes me very happy.
I can get behind that. My grandkids make me happy. I have 3 that are close, and then the rest are a couple hours away. But, we just got to see them last weekend. We got to see almost, 5 of them last weekend. I can't keep up. All my weekends are running together. But my grandkids make me happy. My kids make me happy. My family makes me happy. Gravy makes me happy.
It's right up there.
I really love gravy. It ranks right up there with grandkids.
You talking like breakfast gravy or brown gravy? Or
Yes,
just gravy in
just
general?
gravy, man. If you could just gravy. Okay, I know we're a long way off from Thanksgiving, but I love some turkey gravy. I love some chicken gravy. I love some brown. I like some white gravy. I will take my whole meal, right? Cover the whole meal with gravy. Put it in a blender and have a Thanksgiving smoothie. I don't care. I mean, just gravy that thing up. Add some kale if you want to call me healthy. I don't know. But that's where I'm at with the gravy.
Yup.
Maddie, what makes you happy?
My tiny human does make me happy.
Her tiny human makes her happy. Yeah.
Pursuing your passion, I think that makes me happy.
Pursuing passion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Randy, what makes you happy?
So I got I gotta tell a little story here for this one.
Okay.
But
Speak up so the
specifically-
microphone can hear you for sure.
I think it can hear me, but.
Okay.
So specifically, Tracy and I went for a little motorcycle ride the other day.
Okay.
So we're both wearing our helmets with our earbuds in our ears. And while we're riding down the road, occasionally I can hear Tracy singing to the music she's listening to.
Cool.
Every time I could hear it, it just brought a smile to my
Yes.
Aw.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Watching others be happy
Yeah.
makes me happy, especially loved ones. It's awesome. All right, you got anything in the comments?
Yeah, Dylan said being around positive, uplifting people.
Word. Hey, that is actually, we're gonna talk about that next week. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Matt said a feeling of fulfillment, a job well done with the actual job, my kids being in good places, making me have to worry less as a dad,
Word.
chilling with the fam, I'm with Phil, lots of things.
Awesome.
Reagan Maxwell said chocolate gravy,
Oh.
Chocolate gravy.
which is
Oh.
great.
Yeah.
Shout out Arkansas.
Okay. What?
Now wait a minute. Does chocolate syrup
No.
constitute chocolate
No,
gravy?
no, oh my, no.
No,
Not
it's a
at
totally
all.
different thing.
Oh, that hurt a little bit.
Okay, somebody explain to me exactly what chocolate gravy is then.
It's not, okay, the chocolate pudding kind, that's not chocolate gravy.
Okay.
Like, some people make it, it's like chocolate pudding, basically.
Okay.
It's that you put on your biscuits. No, chocolate gravy is like brown gravy consistency, but it's made with like cocoa and sugar. Like it's chocolate.
Is this a
So-
South
so-
thing?
so
Is this
you
a-
could-
It's
is
an
this-
Arkansas thing.
it's-
I mean,
So you can melt chocolate and accomplish the same thing?
no,
It's
No.
not.
you gotta make it like a base, like a flour, like a gravy.
Can you
It's
make it
not
with
just
magic
a-
shell?
Oh.
I've never tried that.
That
Probably
makes
not.
me happy.
Magic shell?
Magic shell.
Yeah. See, I'm not from the South. So I would try chocolate gravy, like
Oh,
100%.
yeah. I mean, it sounds good.
yeah, it's chocolate and it's gravy. Like, I'll try anything.
It's great, biscuits and chocolate gravy.
Chocolate.
But I've never had this.
Can
like,
you put
You need to come
chocolate
to my
gravy
grandma's house.
Yeah.
over the magic shell?
I mean, that's stretching. That's a new invention, but
Can
I mean,
you
I would try.
We gotta get together.
Yeah.
can you take a bowl of ice cream, cover it in magic shell, so you get a nice crispy shell, and then cover that in chocolate gravy?
That's what I'm asking.
Whipped cream and a cherry?
Well, it's not a dessert. It's breakfast.
Whoa,
Whoa.
So you're going down the dessert path. It's breakfast.
Reagan, teach me about this chocolate gravy. And then we'll go on from
Nathan
there.
said mom has a pretty good chocolate gravy recipe somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. Anybody else before we move on?
Brendan said seeing friends or family succeed at their goals.
Okay.
And Matt said, Maddie, that's your Thanksgiving assignment.
There you go.
So-
There you go. We're gonna have chocolate gravy at Thanksgiving. Sounds good. Okay, let's get into some content. Like I said, we're gonna start a little 2-week study on what joy looks like truly looks like. Tonight we're just gonna kind of give you a little scratch the surface kind of intro. But next week I want you to come back. Make sure you're here next week because we're gonna talk about practical ways to actually apply that to your life right now. Not just, well, the Bible says, so do it. No, we're going to talk about practical ways to actually instill that into your life. But that's going to come next week, so make sure you're here next week. But tonight, let's just kind of dive in for a minute and talk about what that looks like. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? We all have moments where our life doesn't feel very joyful. And that can be in the form of grief, for sure. It can be in the form of just some life situations where you feel like life is beating you up at every single turn. Like we've had moments like that, right? And the older you are, the more of those moments you've had, where you're just like one thing after another, after another, after another, to where like a few weeks in, you know what I'm talking about? You're a few weeks in, you're like, okay, what now? What could possibly happen next to continue piling on? We've all kind of been there. But what I'm talking about is like true joy, right? What does the Bible say about it? One of my favorite verses, and I use it a lot. So students, hopefully students, you can quote it by But I'm going to read it out of the Bible anyway. Even though But one of my favorite verses, I use it most times when I speak, is John 10:10. And John 10:10 is basically just saying this. And we may go back and cover some verses before John 10:10 because this is actually talking about joy in salvation. Okay? But we'll get to that later. So it says, the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. Okay? So basically what that's saying is Satan is the thief. Life is trying to beat you up. Satan is trying to beat you up. It's trying to literally steal your joy, kill your bodies, and destroy your life. But Jesus is saying this. He comes after that and he says this. I've come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. So what Jesus is saying is that I've come that you'll have life and that you will live life to the fullest. I've come that you would have joy, that you would be happy. One of my favorite verses. And nothing can be more truer than that. Yeah, Satan is trying to beat you up. But God wants you to be joyful. Phil, you got anything to add to that before we get into a little more?
So, one of the questions I had was, I mean, we all know the generic answer of joy, right? Like, what is joy? We all know the generic answer. And so, when you started talking about, doing this study, it just kind of led me to the question, well, what is joy? I mean, what is the actual definition of joy?
Yeah.
According to the Bible? And so it led me to John 15:11.
Okay.
And so in that context it says, these things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. Okay, so I looked it up, and in Strong's Concordance it says that joy is actually from the word chara, C-H-A-R-A. And it means to delight and have gladness. And the interesting thing is, part of the definition is to have gladness because of grace. A grace-led happiness. And so, I thought that was pretty interesting. And in this context, it's talking about being in the vine. We're in the vine of Christ. Christ is the vine, we're the branches, right? And he uses that metaphorically, but in such a way that to show us how close we need to be with Christ. And he finishes that off with, have that joy, and I want you to have that full joy, right? So in that context, we're supposed to have the very same joy that Christ has because we're so close to him.
Right.
And I thought, that was pretty cool to find out. I never read that
Yeah.
passage
Yeah.
in that context.
I think the problem comes in, though, is our human abilities and like our human mental state, we have a hard time allowing ourselves to be joyful for a lot of reasons. Okay, so number one, I think, well, the main reason is a lot of us fail to get close enough to Christ to be able to understand that full joy, right? But we also let a lot of little things bother us in this world, in this life. Like, should that guy that cut me off on Highway 47, should that really bother me? Like, did it really affect, did it really change my whole day? No, not really. Like, you ever oversleep? You're a morning guy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
No, I haven't in a long, long time.
You know what I'm talking about? You oversleepers?
You will
Oversleep?
now.
Right, I will now. Thanks a lot.
I don't oversleep very often anymore. But when I do, I allow that to screw up my whole day. I'm running around acting like an idiot, throwing stuff, clothes, and trying to get, I can't function without a shower. So I'm like, no matter how late I overslept, I gotta have a shower. And that will affect my whole day.
Yeah.
How many times in life do we let something little affect our whole mood, affect our whole state of being, and not allow us to even experience a little bit of joy, much less full joy? I think we do it a lot. I think we're probably all guilty of doing it a lot. That can look like your current life situation. You know, I have projects that I've got to do at home. They kind of weigh on my shoulders. I'm just like, man, I got to get that done and that done and that done, but I just want to take a nap. By the way, the older I get, the more I want to nap.
The more naps make you happy.
Yeah, I love the way my brother explains it. He said, I really feel bad about how I treated naps as a kid, so I want to make up to naps for how I treated them as a kid. Me too. I want to make it up to naps for how I treated naps as a kid. I feel bad. So I love naps now.
Are you going to write a letter to naps?
I might write a letter to naps.
Thank you, naps.
Dear naps. Yeah. Where was I?
I don't know.
I got so sidetracked.
You lost
I don't
me.
even know. Basically, what I'm saying is we have two problems to what Phil was talking about, which was experiencing full joy. And the two problems is we allow ourselves to let little things bother us. Your job, your current living situation, your family, somebody made you mad, and you know, like, you're not getting over it ever because they were mean. Like, who are you affecting? You or them? You. The second thing is we look for joy in all the wrong places, and I think this is another big one out of society. It will stop you from understanding what a little bit of joy is, and it will for certain stop you from understanding the full joy that Phil was talking about. So, what does that look like? What does looking for joy in all the wrong places mean? So, basically, if you're spending more time just doing fill in the blank and zero time with God, then those things have become more important to you than God. Don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying those things are wrong. I'm not saying TV is wrong, per se. I mean, some of it is. I'm not saying watching movies is wrong, per se. I'm not saying enjoying life is wrong. But I'm saying when you do those things more, and you place more of an importance on those things than you do your relationship with God, then those become idols in your life, right? And so, let's just take sports, for example. Man, I miss sports. I miss sports a lot. And I don't even care right now if they come back. I'm not going to love it if they come back and you can't go to a stadium, though. So, like, at that point, I'm not even sure if it's worth it. But I miss sports. There's a time in my life where, like, sports and sporting events was so much more important than Sunday worship or church responsibilities or my relationship with God or fill in the blank, right? Anything that you put a higher importance on than your relationship with God is an idol. And at that point, you're looking for joy in those places, right?
Yeah. I think that's a kind of interesting what you're talking about, because you just mentioned a few things that inherently aren't wrong,
Right.
right? However, when you put them as a priority, they're wrong.
Right.
But let's break that down for a second, okay? And let's say, you know what, I'm going to limit my TV watching to 1 hour in a night, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go watch a game, right, for an hour. And then I'm going to go do this for an hour. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon you got 4 hours of, not of one thing, but of different things.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So inherently those things individually aren't bad, but collectively, you've just wasted 4 hours if you haven't spent any time with Christ yet.
And that's the key. Even the 4 hours isn't bad.
Right.
But at the end of the night, if you're tired and you're getting ready to go to bed, and you're like, man, I haven't talked to God all day.
Right.
I haven't read his. I just haven't had time. Haven't you?
Right.
Haven't you? I mean, hey, I'm not beating you up. I'm just as guilty as anybody. So I'm not beating you up. There's days where, I'll go home, take a nap. Love you naps. And then my wife and I will cook dinner or whatever, and then we'll maybe ride our bike, which takes, depending on our route, maybe an hour. And then we'll come home, get cleaned up from that, watch some TV, and then at the end of the night, it's like bedtime, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't crack my Bible one time today. I'm guilty. It's at that moment that those things become idols because they're more important.
Right.
Not wrong by themselves.
Right.
And it says except country music, that's always wrong.
Country music is always
Stop
wrong.
it.
Yeah.
Stop. Move on, Josh. Go ahead.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, we have all these things that we like to do in our life that we think bring us joy, right? Call it sports, TV, movies, and we all like. If our life was a circle, picture this with me, Facebook. If our life was a circle, we wanted to put everything that we enjoyed doing in that circle. We put God in that circle with everything else. Well, at what point are we going to give God a higher priority than everything else we enjoy to do? You have to get closer to Him. You have to work on that relationship. That has to be a priority. If you're ever going to get full, all in, 100% joy, the first step is getting as close to God as you possibly can, and that's a process.
Would you say that spending 20 minutes with God the first part of your day enables you to spend those 4 hours at night doing those other things because you have spent time with God?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I say no because my mindset on that is, so if you give God the first portion of your day, right? You spend some time in prayer and in His Word, say 20 minutes in the morning when you get up, which is never going to happen for me. It's just not. There's no way. I'm running around as it is, trying to get to work. I may talk to Him on my way to work, but, right. Some people are night people, some people are day people, that's fine. What's the quality of that whole 20 minutes that you spend with God? Like, I mean, maybe start there in the beginning of your journey of the process, 20 minutes, but it has to advance from there eventually, right? Like, you with me on that?
Absolutely.
It has to advance. Like, the Bible says pray without ceasing. That means pray all the time. How many of us can say we prayed today, much less all the time?
That's kind of the point I was getting at. Is I think we fall in a trap. Even if we try to get started, and even if we try to make that headway, we get caught up in the trap that says, well, as long as I spent that 20 minutes with God today, I'm good, right? And then we go about our day and we do everything else, forgetting about that 20 minutes with God,
Right.
and just going on about our business. And I think that's a dangerous trap to fall into because, like you said, it does say pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
And I think your whole day should be a continuous conversation with God. You
Yeah.
know, not saying that you run into somebody, you have a conversation. You do
Sure.
other things.
Sure.
But in all that, I think there's always a conversation with God, and I think that has a big part to do with seeking joy.
So, whatever kind of idol that you place a higher importance on than God, whether it be money, popularity, success, relationships, fill in the blank, man. Like, It could be anything. Those are idols. And I'm not saying you got to get those out of your life, but I'm saying you got to place a less of an importance on those things than you once did. I do miss sports. I do. But sports doesn't run my life like they once did. I would stop everything for Cardinal baseball playoffs or the Super Bowl. Which, can I just like sidetrack Chase a Rabbit for a second? Why is it Super Bowl Sunday? Wouldn't it make sense, America, to have the Super Bowl on a Saturday so you could have the whole weekend? Like, you could get up Saturday morning, you could barbecue, you could just like, why? NFL, put the Super Bowl, because they're listening.
Dear
Right.
NFL.
Put
Right.
dear NFL, put the Super Bowl on a Saturday, for goodness sake. That's the end of my rabbit chasing. We're gonna bring this to a close here in a few minutes, okay? Because I just wanted to touch the surface on joy tonight. Next week, I want to really dive into practical things that you and I can do to make that become a reality. Like, here's something that I've been guilty of in the past. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. You know, what does the Bible have to say about fill in the blank? What's the Bible have to say about anxiety? Well, it says be anxious for nothing, so do it. Well, that's nice and cute. I know what the Bible says about it, but how do we get there? How do we put that into practice for me June 10th, 2020? That's what we're going to talk about next week. You got anything to add to tonight before we end up and close?
I don't think so. I think ultimately our goal as Christians is to be as much like Christ as we can possibly be. And the Bible's pretty clear about the joy that Christ had. The joy is what allowed him to be beaten and suffer and die on the cross for us. You know, I think of Stephen also. I think of Stephen's martyrdom when he was being killed. He said that it was like they were looking at angels. It was like they were looking at the face of God, and that was nothing but joy that he had. And that's how joyful that we should strive to be.
Yeah.
That nothing in the world, nothing, the worst thing in the world can't affect that joy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't want little things to bother me. I don't want things that go wrong at work to bother me. Like they still do sometimes. Like I don't know, fill in the blank. I don't want little things I don't want the guy who cut me off on Highway 47 to bother me. I just don't. I just want to be in a place where I'm so happy and so full of joy that those little things just, man, they don't get to me anymore. That's where I'm striving to get to. I'm not there. But that's what I want to get to.
Absolutely.
Next week, we're going to talk about how we can do that. Practical tips on understanding full joy and living that out and living it out loud. Will you pray?
Father God, thank you so much for allowing us to be here tonight to talk about you, to talk about your word. Father, I just ask that you fill us with the joy that we're talking about tonight. Fill us with the joy that you have. God, I just ask that you grow us to be spiritually minded. You grow us to be like-minded with you. Father, I pray for the youth. I pray for our church. I pray for everyone here, Lord, that you just take over them in joy. And Father, just set our eyes on you in everything that we see. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.